In this video, I'm going to show you how to oil the valves on an antique rotary trumpet. This one is a beautiful 100-year-old orchestral F trumpet made by Emanuel Hürrel in Graslitz about year 1900. The tools and materials that you need for this are really very few and simple. The lubricating oil is plain old modern 3-in-1 oil. These valves were made with more clearance than modern valves, and they need a heavy oil like 3-in-1 in order to seal. The upside is that they never wear out because there's never metal on metal contact. Other than that, you want to have something like a toolbox or a tackle box with 3 partitions for the components of each of the 3 valves, which you can't mix up because the screws and the other parts are not interchangeable. They're handmade and not standardized. You need a small screwdriver. It's not the smallest, but you can see it about this size. And ideally, professionally, a rawhide hammer. But since most people don't have one, I'm going to show you how to use the handle of a screwdriver instead. First step is to detach the linkage from the rotor. With the screwdriver, I'm removing one little screw here, and I'll put this in a compartment number 1. Then, depending on the size of the instrument or the screw, the center screw for the rotor on top, put that in the compartment. Now you want to get the rotor off the spindle stem, and there, you have to pry under it. Put that in the box. Now you turn the trumpet over and remove the outer cap, and now you see a plate that's wedged in here by mere friction. And scary as it might seem, you have to tap it out. I'm putting my hand under it, and I'm going to tap down on the stem on top. There we go. I'm going to turn it back over. And here's the rotor valve and the top cap. I'm going to put the top cap away here. Now, it's a good idea to wipe off the valve. I'm going to set it there and get a towel, paper towel. It's got a little greenness in there. I'm going to wipe out inside. Okay. And take my 3-in-1 oil. And just hope you can see this. Going to run oil on the surface. So there's not much surface to a rotor valve. Okay, now we put the long end. I'm going to put a little oil on the stems, the top and bottom stems. Put the long end in, twirl it around, feels nice and free. I'm going to go get the bottom plate and wipe it off a little bit. And the plate has a longer and a shorter flange. The longer one goes out, and each one of these plates is marked with a cut. 1 cut for the first valve, 2 for the second, 3 for the third. You probably can't see it. It's just a little, like a knife cut here, made with some kind of sharp tool and a hammer. And there is a corresponding mark on the rim of the valve case, where I'm pointing right here. And you're supposed to line those 2 cuts up exactly. This really is only necessary if later you're going to align the valve, because the end of the rotor stem has a mark that is supposed to line up with 2 marks on the plate as the valve is rotated. But we're not going to concern ourselves with that. I'm just pressing that in by hand. Then I take the valve bottom cap, replace that, turn the trumpet over, and now I'm going to replace the, well, I don't know the name for this, rotor. The stem on all these trumpets is not symmetrical. One of the 4 sides is rounded, and this hole here is rounded too. And you match up the rounded side and make sure that this post here is between these 2 cork surfaces. And let's see here, round, oops. There we are. Now, that little screw that we started by removing, I have to fish it out of my tackle box, my toolbox compartment there. Reattach. And the center screw. Sometimes the center screw is not a slotted screw with a slotted screw head, but a thumb wheel that you're intended to take off with just your fingers without a screwdriver. And the job is done. Now I'm going to make some small adjustments, but in principle, that's how you lubricate a valve on one of these antique rotors, and you repeat the process for valve 2 and 3.